And they were like, don't worry, we'll take it right now to our cleaners. He's incredible. He works with couture. Like, it's like, he'll get it out. I promise you, it's brand new. It'll be fine. We promise it'll be okay. And I was just like, I was like hysterical, almost hysterical. Like, can you, like, it's
You were
so
like Rudy
mean.
Giuliani with his hair dye.
I was like Rudy Giuliani. I was.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh boy, did she fucking, you know why?
Why?
You know why? Because Mercury no longer in retrograde, honey. Honey, she just left literally 10 minutes ago.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's very exciting. Okay, well, let's keep our fingers crossed that she holds up.
Fingers crossed.
We're going to make this quick, guys. We got to do a quick episode. We're just, everybody's working. We're working too hard. Hardly working. What? No.
Just to explain, so I came to New York City to work on Busy This Week, the talk show on QVC Plus, coming May 8th. Get that QVC Plus app on your smart television, on your phone, on any device, so that you can hang out with us and watch the show.
QVC Plus, guys. QVC Plus, HSN Plus, and also you can like get it on your. You could just like get it on your TV. You can get it on your phone. You can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. We'll like maybe make a video or something like explaining the many ways you can get it. Who knows? We'll do it when we find a minute. But anyway, so I came to New York. Busy so generously allowed me to come stay at Casa Kismet, which, by the way, you know how when you're a little kid, you think that everybody who is on a TV show together lives together?
That's basically, yes. That's our life right now.
That is what my husband thinks. Like, my husband is so delighted by the idea that you and I are roommates right now. And I am trying to explain to him that I have actually really only seen you at work because you have been working so many jobs, still out there promoting Girls 5 Eva on Netflix. So that's why you're now in Los Angeles. And
yes. Well, there's a bunch of stuff, you know, it's the FYC.
For your consideration.
For your consideration. And that is for Emmy consideration, Critics' Choice Awards. And I do think in part because Girls 5 Eva with the relaunch on Netflix and everything, and this third season, like a lot of people have said that it's like one of the best shows this year, you know, like all that stuff. So I think that if there's an opportunity for us to get nominated for something, it would certainly help us getting picked up for a fourth season, which would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
And we really want.
Yeah.
So they really, you know, they've done such an amazing, like such a great job of like getting us all kinds of screenings and press and Academy stuff and interviews with Hollywood Reporter, and I mean, just so many things. So
you're out there doing that. Yeah.
But I've been out here working kind of like nonstop on it.
Yeah.
And also, I also was doing some press for our show.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of shows. It's an embarrassment.
A lot of shows of riches.
Of riches and luck.
Truly.
Which is,
it is, but it's also like, like obviously, like when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like you go through periods of time where you're like, okay, am I ever working again?
Yeah.
Is anything ever going to happen for me? And then it's like everything everywhere all at once. And that's where we're at right now. We're just everything everywhere all at once, which is
great. So we haven't really gotten the opportunity to be roommates. I hope we will, so that my husband's picture in his head comes true. His dreams come true. But I will say, Busy, He was supposed to come and visit me for a short time this week, and then unfortunately we have to go to a funeral back in Massachusetts, so he extended his stay in New York City, so he's been here longer. So like I'm back at Casa Kismet right now. He came up with me and did a quick diagnostic on all your plants. He went around and evaluated the health of all of your plants with...
I am concerned. I'm not going to lie. I'm like feeling upset about the plants.
He has a plant app. No, most of them are in good health according to his app that he subscribes to.
I didn't leave instructions. I just feel like I could have left better instructions for you.
Well, anyway, they've all been watered and cared for, and
some of them like showers.
Yes. Some of them like a full dunk. We went according to what the app said, how much water, everything would need or whatever. And then like, I'm just warning you, I'll do my best to like keep control of him, but I think he's gonna repair things around the apartment. So
I can't wait. It's literally my dream. It's my dream.
If there's anything,
it's my damn dream.
If there's anything you specifically want repaired, please speak now, because here's...
Yes, I got it. I have a list.
Okay. He wants to... You're going to wind up with a new toilet. That's the upshot, is that he's like, Busy's wax seal on her toilet isn't really good. Like her toilet's moving a little bit. And I'm like, okay, so do you want to just like put a new wax seal on it? And he's like, yeah. Like, I'm like, well, maybe she wants her super to do it. And he's like, no. It takes like 5 minutes. I'll just get a wax seal and put a new wax seal on her toilet. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, you know what? If I'm going to take off the toilet to change the wax seal, why don't we just put a whole new toilet? And I'm like, I don't know if she wants a new toilet. And he's like, well, ask her if she wants a new toilet, because it's just as easy. And I'm like,
I will say that toilet is really short.
Oh, okay. Would you like a taller toilet?
Don't you think you have to like kind of like get down?
Well, you know, I have little short legs. So, I mean, for me, it's like a dream toilet. It's
no big deal.
A little toadstool. But if you would like a taller toilet, they do make a taller toilet. And I'm sure he says it's so easy. It takes 5 minutes and he'd switch it out for you.
I mean, am I allowed to just do that though? It's a rental. I don't know.
I mean,
it feels weird.
Here's the thing.
Maybe we don't need to change the toilet right now.
I think, yeah, we can discuss it, but I think no one would probably notice if you switched out the toilet for a nicer, more recent toilet. I don't think, it's like you put up wallpaper too, you know?
I did put up wallpaper. I know. That's true.
Anyway.
Well, it's supposed to be peel and stick, but it's not great. I mean, it wasn't sticking well. So then I did use some glue.
Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do, if it's not sticking? I feel
exactly.
I'm always reminded of like when we lived on the Upper East Side. I asked permission to paint the wall in the bedroom because it was like they had painted it this weird like slate gray color. And so I asked our landlord permission if I could repaint that one wall. And the landlord was like, I don't know. Is it going to be ugly? And I was like, it's ugly now. But the reason why it reminds me of that is because like they gave us a really hard time about painting that one wall, which I understand, like they owned the apartment. And then finally they relented and let us paint the one wall. And I was so young at the time that I was like so grateful and whatever that they let us paint the wall and let us like put some individuality in the apartment or whatever. But the thing is, I didn't really realize that it wasn't that big of a deal. And then to like paint, when I realized is like we moved out of the apartment and then I went back one day to like get something that was still at the apartment and they'd gone through and like repainted the entire thing anyway in advance of the new people. So anyway, I always just think of how stuff is like, it's not that permanent. It's not that deep. And
it's not that deep.
Yeah. And like, if you love a slate gray wall while you're living there, more power to you. But You should let me paint it a different color, even if you think it's ugly.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Well, guys, I'll tell you in a little bit on what we've taped our first episode of Busy This Week.
It's true.
It was exciting. It was fun. It turned out great.
I don't want to jinx anything.
Me neither. I'm knocking on wood.
Knocking on wood. It went so much smoother than anything had a right to go for like a first time.
Agreed. And also, like, I do just want to say, like, I do feel like we know where we need, like, I know personally, like, a few places where I'm like, okay, I know how before our next taping, like, what needs to happen in order to make that.
Yes.
But, like, in a weird way, it was just perfect. Our first guests are the girls from Girls Five Eva, Renee, Sarah, and Paula. And it was just they were the perfect first guests because for me, there was no pressure.
Yeah,
like,
so
I just
comforting.
Knew, it was so comforting because there's no way that, A, those girls are going to let me fail. B, if I had done something insane or whatever, it would have been fine. We would have just stopped. And I don't know what insane thing I could have possibly done, but
I don't know. That's I kept saying, like, oh, it's so comforting because if anything happens and we have to stop, it's no big deal, and they'll be so patient and kind about it. And they were so patient and kind, but there really wasn't anything we needed to stop for. So it was a dream.
Yeah, it was great. It was really great. It was a really fun, great day. I'm so grateful to QVC. I'm super excited for everybody to see it. It was awesome. And then I came to LA. Why are you laughing?
It's just so funny. Like, we literally were like ships passing in the night. And then you were like, oh, I got to go to LA. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like,
I mean, it was ridiculous.
And it worked out fine. Like, it's
fine.
Yeah. But it's just so funny.
I came to LA. I have to tell you a story. I don't even think I told you.
Tell me.
Well, maybe I did. So part of it, I have now, there's a bunch of events and things and press that I have to do, both for the Girls Five Eva FYC stuff, but also for Busy This Week, but also for a couple like brand partnerships that I have. And then also like some charity things that I'm going to. Like so normally I'm not this crazy.
Yeah.
With things that I'm attending or going to or needing to like have an outfit for.
Right.
But I have 10 things.
Oh my God.
That I need outfits for. It is actually very disconcerting to be doing this Zoom with you right now because because it's almost like we're flipped. Like,
yeah, and you're looking at your house.
At my house. Just guys, you have to take a screen grab of this so we can just see it.
And
this is really weird.
You got on and said, "Oh, your son was just here," and
yeah,
I was, and that
right here, right now. So this is weird, really bizarre.
Wait, can you say hi to me? I haven't seen him.
Eli, come say hi. There's your son.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you, honey.
I can't hear you, but I can see.
I know he can't hear you, but he says, she said, "Nice to see you, honey." Okay. Yeah, maybe we should close the curtains. Poor Alfie. They're digging like a giant hole in Emily's front yard right now.
No.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Poor Alfie. It's Alfie's literal nightmare.
His nightmare.
It's his nightmare.
Oh my God.
But so anyway, 10 outfits is a lot of outfits. I'm working with these new stylists, Danny and Emma, who I love, and they like Carla and I love each other too, but like she's gotten very busy with with her period company, her underwear company.
Yeah.
And it's difficult because she's obviously doesn't have like a New York setup.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so Danny and Emma, I'm working with Danny and Emma. But this is like kind of the first fitting that I'm having with them, like real for real. They did my look for Seth. And they did one other look for me, and I have done a photo shoot with them before, but like this is like the first time that I've like really had this bit, and this is like a lot of stuff, and really, so was so excited, and I had to come in early because it was like that's like a 2.5 hour fitting.
Yeah.
Why are we, this show now, our podcast now is just about clothing fittings, guys. I just want you to know, because last week's episode, I feel like we talked about fittings.
We did.
I know. I'm sorry, guys, but this is the payoff on this is good. I promise you. like worth it.
Worth it.
So anyway, we decided to do it on Sunday just so that like if there were alterations and things to be done before my press and the photo shoots, we could get it all done. So I go work out. I get in Saturday night. I see BB. We have dinner. Super fun. I was so tired. I go to bed, wake up so excited, go do my workout, shower at my workout because I'm going straight to my fitting, just brush my hair, put my wet hair back in a scrunchie that was in my purse, and go to my workout. In the car, I check in with Mark, who had taken cricket. She had a long weekend, and he had taken her on a little trip, the two of them, and I check in. How are they doing? I open my purse to write something down, and I was like, oh, shit, I left my pen open. But I checked my purse, and it just had gotten a little bit of ink on like one little thing in my purse, and I was able to like wipe it off, and it was fine.
Okay.
Then I go into my fitting, and I'm trying on, like, they have these racks of the most beautiful clothes, and like they're like, and we're thinking this look, and it's spring, and everything is like light blue and light pink and white. And then at a certain point, I grabbed my phone to show them a picture or something, and I put my phone down, and I was like, oh my God, there's ink on my hand. Oh no, that pen was open. I guess it got on my phone. And we like wiped down my phone. I'm like, oh, thank God. That's so crazy. I don't want to like touch any of these beautiful dresses, blah, blah, blah. 2 seconds later, like 1 minute later, all of a sudden I'm like, wait, you guys, why is there more ink on my hands? Where is this ink coming from? And they're like, I don't know. And then Danny is like, wait a minute, look at your ear. There's something on your ear. And I was like, why is there black ink on my ear? Caissie, my pen had leaked 100% into my scrunchie.
Oh my God.
That then I put in my wet hair, and we took like a bizarro horror movie. I take what I thought in my head when I got the scrunchie, because I was like just kind of in a rush and sort of just not really when I took my scrunchie out of my purse at my gym and put my hair back, I was like, oh, this is a cool tie-dyed scrunchie.
Oh no.
No, it was not a tie-dyed scrunchie. It was black with ink that then was like in a stripe around my hair.
Oh my God.
Like a little skunk. But not only that, then like also like a horror movie, we go back at the rack of clothes of the like 6 things I've already tried down on, and all down the back of them is ink, like on every single garment. And I was just like, you guys, I don't know what to say. And they were so chill about it. And they were like, don't worry, we'll take it right now to our cleaners. He's incredible. He works with couture. Like, it's like, he'll get it out. I promise you, it's brand new. It'll be fine. We promise it'll be okay. And I was just like, I was like hysterical, almost hysterical. Like, can you like, it's
you were
so
like Rudy
mean.
Giuliani with his hair dye.
I was like Rudy Giuliani with his hair dye. I was. Wait, I saw my friend that like later or the next day or something, and he was like, you're like, it's like a Mr. Magoo move. Like, that's like a thing a cartoon character would do. like not a real person. And I'm like, I am a cartoon character. I am.
My God.
I know. But thankfully, I will have you know, all of the ink came out of all of the beautiful clothing. Because I don't know if you saw any of my pictures of some of my press, but I did wear like a white dress.
Yes.
The first day, and that was one of the dresses.
No, I saw all the pictures. They did a beautiful job, and now that I know that it was like that much more, that there was that much more at stake because they had to get those ink stains out. Holy smokes.
I mean, have you ever in your life?
I mean,
it's so me. like, what? It's so stupid and so me.
It's the you version of that. Everybody has been chewing on a pen and exploded a pen in their mouth before. But that's the high stakes stylist version of it. How did you get the ink out of your hair?
Well, luckily, I had already had a hair appointment for the next day to get my color done. So they just did like a little treatment on it and got the... Thank God it wasn't a Sharpie. You know what I mean? It was just like a regular pen.
Yeah, it could have been so much worse.
It could have been so much worse, and yet it was...
It was just worse enough.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty ridiculous. I will say it was pretty stupid.
Oh,
no. It felt really dumb. I felt really dumb. I was just like, I felt really dumb.
What can you do? You know, we need to come farther in pen technology to save ourselves from pens, you know?
Well, I also just have to say it was clearly human error. The pen was open.
But that's what I'm saying.
I put an open pen in my purse.
We need a safeguard. We need a safeguard against putting an open pen in our purse. Like, so many things are like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, when you go to do something on your phone, they're like, oh my God, are you sure you want to do that? Like, yeah. I guess maybe we just shouldn't put pens in purses. I don't know. Where else are we going to put them?
Okay, guys, this is an ad. I'm just going to say it, but it's not an ad because it actually is a thing that happened to us this week that was so special and so incredible and made both of us cry. If you watch my Instagram story, you probably saw it. But okay, there is this new service and it's called Songfinch. And basically what it is you can create a song, an original song that a songwriter writes for you, for whoever you want to have a song written for, based on like a bunch of things like you. Okay, so I didn't do it. Caissie did it for me. And she had this like song written by a singer-songwriter gal who like lives in Nashville. And she gave it to me as a gift before we started the talk show. And you guys, the song is so good. It's original. We both were like sobbing. She thought it was going to be kind of like funny that she gave me the Songfinch as a gift before we started our talk show.
Yeah.
And truly, I think we were both surprised that we were just like sobbing because it was so special and we like loved it. And it's a really good song. It's a really good song.
Like, I put details in it that I thought would be kind of funny, and they are kind of funny, but it's also a really beautiful and moving song. And I pictured that we were gonna crack up laughing listening to it. And we both...
And we did.
But we
cried.
We were laughing because it made us cry. It was really touching.
Songfinch lets you create an original radio quality song inspired by your own life and the people you love. It's completely unique. It's personal. It lasts forever. They use real songwriters and artists. They walk you through the process. You tell them who the song is for, what style of song you want. You share personal details about your relationship, and then a musician of your choice, because you like listened to a couple demos, right?
Yes. Yeah. I listened to a bunch.
And then you picked this woman, and she wrote, recorded, and produced the song in 4 to 7 days. You guys, this is such an incredible gift. Look, Mother's Day is coming up. Whether your song is for Mother's Day, maybe Father's Day, an upcoming graduation, a wedding, just to show somebody that you love how much you care, you can start your song now to lock in a top Songfinch artist. I mean, what if your friend is starting a new job? Like me, like we were starting a new job together. It was incredible. Don't waste money on getting more stuff. I'm telling you, this was like literally the best gift I've ever gotten. It was incredible.
I'm so happy you loved it.
Amazing. And I loved it so much. And I was skeptical. I was the skeptical one.
Yeah.
And I'm so on board. I love it So it is so fun. I'm going to be using Songfinch in the future. 100%. I told Sarah Bareilles about it.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, I really am like I think it's incredible. For a limited time, Songfinch is letting our listeners upload their song to Spotify for free. So you and the lucky person you gift it to can listen to it anywhere, anytime. Go to songfinch.com/busy and start your song. After you purchase, you're going to be prompted to add Spotify streaming for your original song for free. It's a $50 value. That's amazing. Again, the URL is songfinch.com/busy. And don't forget to share your song with us too. You guys, I'm telling you, this is the greatest gift you can give someone, even if you just want to give it to yourself. It is songfinch.com/busy. Guys, you know we've talked about Athena Club before, but this is your official invite from us to try it out if you haven't yet, because also it's spring and you're going to be wearing those short dresses.
Cute dresses.
Maybe just cute dresses. You want your legs to be smooth. Athena Club has it all, truly. First of all, I love the razors. They glide very effortlessly. They have 5 precision engineered blades. There's a very moisturizing water-activated serum with hyaluronic acid and built-in skin guards, all incredible, that help prevent razor burn, reduce irritation. And the price is incredible. The Athena Club razor kit is a steal at $10. Don't let that price fool you. The razor feels very expensive.
It does.
Because it has a really nice ergonomic handle that's gorgeous.
I love it. And I love it comes with a little magnetic hook that you stick your razor on so it's not in like a puddle of water rusting away. And I just think it keeps it hygienic. It looks cute. You always know where it is. And I just love
like
it.
that because the blade on my old razor that I would use would always get very goopy and disgusting.
Exactly.
And now I just really love the like water activated serum on the Athena Club razors. It never gets gunky. Guys, are you ready to upgrade your shaving experience? Switch to the best razor on the market and show your skin you care with Athena Club. Head over to athenaclub.com to try their award-winning razor and body products and get 20% off your purchase with code BUSY at the checkout. You can also find Athena Club razors at your local Target stores. Trust me, you're not going to look back. Happy shaving! I don't know. I feel like I have so much reading to do on current events.
It's been a lot. I've been trying to follow along.
I know. And I feel really like, I don't know, because I've been so in this, like, the mode of like doing our show and the talk show and then promoting Girls 5 Eva. Like, I mean, a little bit I've been following like what's happening on campuses with the protests, but even that is like, I'm like, I cannot believe what is happening. Like, it's like
the
wild.
60s again.
It's like this. It's truly wild to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I just got a thing that USC has like canceled their graduation altogether.
Oh my gosh.
Because also like their valedictorian. This is totally, I mean, I don't know the story well enough, I feel like, to even talk about it,
right.
But like it was like their valedictorian who should be able to give a speech because she's the valedictorian. They were saying that they didn't want her to because she is, you know, obviously like vocal about the atrocities happening in Gaza.
Right.
And is like they were concerned
that it would be unsafe is initially what.
Well, that's what they said.
I heard, yes.
But then, they said the decision was based on a barrage of communications threatening to disrupt the graduation ceremony. But in a statement, Miss Tabasum voiced skepticism about the motivation. But now they're just canceling the graduate. It's like really cowardly and wild, I think.
And feels punitive.
Yes. But also like Abdi, I saw Abdi while I have been here.
Yeah.
And, Abdi went to Columbia. And so we were discussing that a little bit. And he's like, is like a part of campus life. And he's like, and especially at Columbia, he's
Right.
like, they encourage people to be heard and to have their, voices heard. And, I saw some super disturbing, obviously, we have all seen some super disturbing, incredibly violent calls of like anti-Semitism
Right.
within some of the greater calls for the end of the mass killing and starvation of the people in Gaza specifically. And like, obviously there's no place for hate speech, but also somebody was saying that like that those protesters were not the campus protesters.
Right. I mean,
But
that's
again-
how protest is always going to go as well, right? Is that like nobody's a monolith, just as
no one is a monolith.
these groups that we're talking about are not monoliths. I guess it would be impossible to predict any of this, but I totally agree with what Abdi is saying, is that like protest is a part of college life. That's where so much of our country's history of protest happens. And you would hope that we'd gotten better at it in some ways and gotten better at allowing people to express themselves in that way. But it just seems like,
I just also do feel like so much inflammatory bullshit continues to be whipped up online. And, my concern is performative activism in terms, even in protest.
right.
Because I think that people right now, and maybe younger people, but I think all people really, are so, their brains have sort of been changed, and because of social media and reach and extreme behavior being a thing that gets the most attention.
Yeah.
It's concerning. Like, did you see that girl that like went to the whatever city council meeting and then like just threatened to like murder everybody?
Oh, I did not see that.
Did you see that?
No, I did not see that.
It was so fucking wild. And it was like, girlfriend. And people are talking about like people who've been radicalized and students that have been radicalized. And I'm like, have they? Or are they
Right.
trying to like figure out a way to get the most attention?
Right.
And are they, I mean, in so many ways, we're talking about kids
Right.
who are fucking idiots.
Right. Right.
Who do dumb shit. And like they get bad ideas that this is going to be the thing. And by the way, I'm not, obviously, you know me, I'm not fucking excusing anti-Semitism. I would be, I have Jewish children. I get nervous and terrified, of course, for anyone's safety. No one should feel, especially on campuses, that their safety is compromised ever.
Yeah.
However, like these kids should be able to fucking protest. And a lot of the protesters, especially at Columbia, were Jewish students
Right.
who were protesting the war.
I've been following a lot.
Israel,
Yes.
And Israel's action.
Yes. I've
And
been following a lot
like,
of Jewish
friends-
voices who
Yes.
are like,
There are tons.
yeah. Yeah. Which is, it's very interesting. I was just having this conversation with someone too about like, we talk about not centering ourselves in anything, really. You know what I mean? Like that's the goal, is to always try not to center yourself. So that's been really interesting to me, because when you're talking about like, performative demonstration or whatever, that's what I always think about, is like, oh, this is like a case of this person is really centering themselves. And I get it because that's what we've learned is that that's what gets attention. That's what goes viral. That's what gets eyeballs. It's shocking to people. It's really difficult, but I'm, I've been in the city and I saw them putting up some barricades or whatever to keep protesters out of like a certain part of the university. And it just made me think like, I wish we had gotten better at this part of it, at least this part.
I was just having this conversation with someone else. I mean, I would love to see if we could get Shamil Idris from Search for Common Ground on the podcast and talk to him, because he is really incredible. Shamil works specifically around like de-escalations of conflicts and specifically in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important to like continue to try to center people who are like understanding of the complexities of the region in a way that obviously I'm not.
Right.
And also like able to give some real actionable items, like so frequently, especially in terms of the just total devastation and atrocity that has been continuing to happen. I feel like I don't know what is the most helpful. Like I was I joined a call that I was invited to be on that was like a private call with the government and artists who are demanding peace and that the government not fund any more killing of children in this world.
Right.
Fuck, man. And I'm trying to like figure it out and it breaks my, oh my God, I'm going to cry, but it like breaks my fucking heart, you know, like, and on top of it, like, you know, the Supreme Court is like literally why the Supreme Court appears sharply divided in the emergency abortion case. Well, gee, I fucking wonder.
I
fucking wonder why. The fact, this Harvey Weinstein thing that I just saw, like I can't. So it's so difficult to. So I'm like happy to post fucking fashion pictures and not read the news for 2 days.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Because also I feel, you know, I was really happy that Arizona voted yesterday that like 3 Republicans broke ranks and they voted yesterday to repeal that ban, the 1864 ban. But there's still something that could happen. Honestly, it's not done yet.
It has another stage
it has another step.
Yeah.
But like then reading this stuff about the emergency abortion stuff, which like so much of the information that like reporters are finally like AP and all these people are like picking up on what women have been going through post-ops is so sickening. And like I've gotten it on emails through the different organizations that I work with, you know, and it's unconscionable what is happening in our country.
Right. And then today I was glued to the Supreme Court presidential immunity hearing.
Oh, right.
And I didn't
even look.
I mean, they literally, I think, asked, could a president deciding that someone should be killed be like official presidential business that they could then not be held responsible for? And like Trump's attorney was like, yeah, I could see how that, you know? And I'm like, what?
No,
it's just wild.
We're in
upside down world.
We're in upside down world. We're in a true upside down world right now. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to like maintain some sort of sanity for myself.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, find joy when you can find it, guys.
Yeah.
But also you can't turn it off completely. You know, you have to be able to like be participatory, show up in ways that you can when you can. Like, I just would encourage everyone who's listening, like, I don't know, try to find the ways you can show up and help and speak out for the things, because there's so many.
Yeah.
And if you only have space in your heart for 3, that's fine. Make it, you know, pay attention to those 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So frequently, I think like people, I've had, you know, people that represent me. Actually, my publicist just yesterday when I was with her, she was like saying something. She's like, "Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of exhausted." And she's like, "Well, yeah, because you say yes to we get requests all the time for all these different organizations, and like you say yes to everything, Busy, and like you don't have to say yes to everything." And I sort of feel like I hear that, but also I feel like I kind of do, because I don't think that like, while obviously abortion and I mean, I think bodily autonomy, voting rights, and voter suppression and abortion are all deeply tied together.
They're very connected.
I think.
Yes.
Very, very connected. I think our government funding a war that is disproportionately killing women and children also has to do with the same thing. Like, I care about women. Like, I'm sorry, I fucking care about women.
Right.
I do. And so, like, for me, all of these things, Alfie, come here, buddy, come here. I need you to calm down. Come here. Can I just scratch you or something? Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little scratch. So I do try to like show up for all of these different things. I really care about trans kids and their families, and that they should be able to like provide the care for their kids that are going to keep them alive and happy and healthy, you know, and that those decisions are best left to medical professionals and parents and psychologists, and not some fucking used car salesman that ran for city council. Right. Like, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of this to say, I don't know. Everything is I think everything is interconnected.
Everything
and
100%
at the same
is
time
interconnected, and that's how it gets overwhelming, you know?
And that's why it's overwhelming.
Because sometimes
you're so smart.
When you're trying to do some good for something, like here's where I get like, it gets confusing. You get in the weeds a little bit where you're like, okay, I support this thing and this is the most good that I can do in this area. And then someone will point out a way in which the thing that you're trying to do some good in that area, where it's intersectionally imperfect with another thing that you would also want. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that's where it gets overwhelming and in the weeds, where there's too much emphasis placed on one thing, or it doesn't perfectly encompass every idea or ideal that you hold. And so that's complicated, especially when we're talking about things that are happening in other regions of the world, where you're you know, like, yes, I understand that like certain countries have an abominable human rights record. You know, like women's rights aren't respected and LGBTQIA plus rights aren't respected. I still don't want to support a war that is affecting women and LGBTQIA plus people in that country. Always. I don't, you know, I'm a pacifist. I'm not for war ever. So,
I know.
You know,
or
or
me neither.
This isn't even a war, by the way. So
no, well, right. And then like Abdi, you know, who's Iranian, was like really talking with a great deal of knowledge, which he has because of his experience and his family
Right.
and like his family that's still in Iran, and like, you know, was just talking about like this regime in Iran. And I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel very overwhelmed.
It's overwhelming and it's complicated.
Caissie, I want to just say this. In this, what is an important election coming up so quickly,
Yeah.
I personally am fucking pissed off at our government.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off because of what I view as like a government that is continuing to operate as quote unquote business as usual, politics as usual,
Right.
without realizing that the entire world has changed
Right.
and that Donald Trump has already dismantled enough of our democratic process and system that it may be irrevocable. Irrevocable. Irrevocable?
Irrevocable.
Irrevocable. Is that how you say it? Wait, hold on.
Yes.
It is?
Or irrevocable.
No. Guys, this is the important stuff.
Irrevocable.
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 You did it.
Okay, irrevocable.
Yes.
It may already be irrevocable. It may. And to me, the lack of urgency with everything that has
Right.
happened.
It's not strong enough and it's not fast
It's not
enough.
strong enough. And it's not fucking enough. And I'm fucking, like, no, I don't want to fucking come to your stupid fundraiser
Right.
and speak. I don't want to do a fucking, no, I don't. I don't want to, like, because you haven't, where have you been for
Right.
all these fucking women in all these places, for these kids, for like everyone who's
Right.
been waiting?
It's a shit
And
place
now
to
this-
be. It's a shit place to be because I feel the same as you. I'm like, I get an email every 2 seconds. Like if I don't get an email every 2 seconds, I think my phone is broken, asking like, can you just give this amount of money? Can you support? Can you do this? And I'm like, feel the same exact way. But then also the alternative is so much worse. And then people will say, well, that's why we have to get out of having a two-party system because, and then I'm like, yes, but not this time. You know, this time we have a two-party system and we have to change that at some point, but we have to do it well ahead of a time like this. We got to get started with
Well,
that.
that's it. I mean, that's the other thing.
We
It's
can't
just like,
keep studying for the test the night before and wanting to change out of a two-party system like in the last.
the problem is there are no like real leaders,
Right.
period.
Right.
And like, no one's coming to save us.
Right. Right.
And we're not doing a great job of saving ourselves. Foria. You guys, we love Foria. We love it so much. Also, spring has sprung. Get sprung yourself with Foria. I don't know. Wow. But listen, you know what Foria is? Foria makes products using all natural plant-based ingredients to intensify sexual pleasure, relieve discomfort, giving you access to bigger and better orgasms, solo or with a partner.
Who doesn't want that?
Who doesn't want that? Foria has a serious cult following with tens of thousands of people who've had their sex lives transformed through their products. They have amazing testimonials. I'm a fan of the Awaken Arousal Oil. The sex oil is a perfect combo for peak pleasure. Even if you're a person who's like, my sex life is great, I don't really need it. Trust me, you need it.
Just try it.
Just try it. Try it. You might like it. You will like it. It is incredible. Awaken Arousal Oil uses CBD and warming, sensation-inducing organic botanicals that enhance arousal, sensitivity, pleasure, access to orgasm, and help with discomfort. Best of all, Awaken just turns you on. Listen, you have our permission to try this. It's the spring. You want to get some. You're going to get some.
You're like an 80s morning DJ.
I feel like it right now. But I really do love Foria, and I want you guys to try it. I fully endorse you to go ahead. Treat yourself to deeper, more fuller pleasure wherever you can find it and as often as possible. And you can start with a bottle of Foria. Foria is offering a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first order by visiting foriawellness.com/best or use code BEST at the checkout. That's FORIA wellness.com/best for 20% off your first order. I recommend trying the Awaken Arousal Oil and the Sex Oil. You're going to thank me later. ZocDoc. Everybody loves ZocDoc. I do love ZocDoc. We've talked about it before. Listen, ZocDoc is a place where you can find and book doctors who are going to make you feel comfortable, actually listen to you. And I'm not talking about a few doctors. I'm talking about a billion doctors.
All the doctors.
Tens of thousands of doctors. Verified patient reviews. You can make sure the vibes are vibing before you even meet in real life. You can make sure they take your insurance. You can make sure they're available when you need to see them. With ZocDoc, you've got more options than you can even imagine.
And that's what we all want is options, right?
We need options, especially when you're trying to find a doctor. And when it comes to your health, there's no compromise. Don't go back to the doctor that you're like, I kind of hate.
Right.
That doctor never listens to me.
Right.
Don't go back to that person. Instead, why don't you go to ZocDoc? It's the place where you can always find and book doctors. You can search by location, availability, insurance, no compromises here because with ZocDoc, you've got more options than you know. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. Guys, go to ZocDoc.com/doingherbest and download the ZocDoc app for free. And then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/doingherbest. ZocDoc.com/doingherbest.
I mean, listen, I'm all about giving credit where credit is due for things that are accomplished. And I think that, certainly, like, anyone that we could pick out from our government who, are people that we have voted for and put in office, like you can pick out and they certainly have accomplishments. But I just feel like in this situation, I feel like we're all feeling the response isn't strong enough. It's not fast enough. We're watching this happen before our eyes. And like, I hate that it's coming down to like, it's not something that I want done because the election is coming up for us. One has nothing to do with the other, really. It's just like, it's just a fluke of timing, I guess, that this is like, it's becoming a campaign issue when it's not it's like a humanitarian issue.
Yes.
It's a human issue. And like, we're supposed to be better than this. And I hate that it's our country that, like I'm a representative of, and this country represents me. And I just feel like, yeah, the response hasn't been strong enough. It hasn't been fast enough. But also, all that being said, I understand it's complicated, and I understand that it's been going on since long before we were all born, and I don't know what the answer is. I just wish that someone had a better answer than I did, and a bigger answer and a faster answer. I just wish. But listen, I appreciate all that you're doing. I appreciate that you are spreading yourself so thin to do what you can, you know?
Well, listen.
I appreciate everyone who's, I mean, all of you, a bunch of you at home are constantly telling it, like, you're doing this. And like somebody this week wrote in saying like, I want to get people registered to vote where I live. Does anyone have advice? And like people had advice. And I think that's so cool. And because the last thing I want people to do is to get jaded. Because again, like it's fucking hard. We have to hold it all, right? We have to be jaded and still hold it all and still do the most best good that we can.
Well, that's it. That is right. While trying to while trying to understand, while trying to have like really complex conversations with people, while trying to like see lots of different nuance in so many different ways.
Right.
Right.
And also while understanding the fear and the pain of some folks who are genuinely afraid and in terror in this country and in other countries, like just trying to understand the way that those folks are feeling because of like this generational trauma that they have been born into and have lived through, and that their ancestors have lived through, and
totally
just trying to hear all that, so that like, I mean, shoot, if I don't know how much good it can do, but if it can do any good for me to hear a friend say what they have to say and say like, I hear you, and I'm here for you. Like, I hope that's helpful. I hope it is.
Me too.
I mean,
me too. I will say like Renee, Abdi, Paula, and I like sat and had this really incredible conversation specifically about what's happening, with Israel and Gaza and Iran. And I feel like we all felt like afterwards, so, I mean, I don't want to, like, it just so heard and like, and understood. And I feel like I understood, especially Abdi had a really super interesting perspective. And I think it was Renee was like, we should have been recording this. This could have been your podcast this week.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would have been amazing. And also like, I hope people are able to do this in their own lives.
Yeah.
I hope people have enough. And I worry though that people don't have enough diversity in their own lives.
Yeah.
Like different perspectives.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot that people are saying like that they are in listening mode because they don't feel like they have the expertise to weigh in on something publicly, like, whatever that means for you. But then that also tells me if you don't have the expertise, which who does? So few of us are experts in this. But that also tells me that you might not also have someone that you have enough of a relationship with to ask questions who knows about this. And that's just because we're so siloed. And so, this is a very individualistic country. And
yes,
social media has done a little bit to break down those silos that we were in and to I think like break down our individualism in some ways, but I don't know that necessarily it's 100% effective in connecting us with people who can enlighten us. I think sometimes it's more effective in connecting us with people who put us in make us in an echo chamber, put us in an echo chamber. That's true for me. I know.
God, also this fucking TikTok thing.
Yeah. I know for a fact that like my algorithms are trying to feed me the things that it thinks that I like and that I want to hear. And so it's human nature, by the way, to be like, yes, I do like that. Smash that like on that. And I'll continue to consume it and get on a chain of like watching these little videos or whatever. And when I don't like something, I scroll past it quickly and I don't engage with it. And so like, I definitely play a part in my own siloing into an echo chamber. And I do try to be aware of it. And I try to, I try to not live like that in my online life, but I'm increasingly thinking a lot about how is social media useful versus how damaging it can be and what it means and like what you can trust. And I hate to say that I don't think it's getting any more trustworthy as we move forward into the future. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I do know that there's just so much misinformation and so much kind of groupthink mentality that
oh my God, yes.
doesn't
like stirring a pot. That's like just guys, it's a pot of shit.
Yeah.
Like turns out like it's not the chili you think it is.
It's not a good chili.
It's not good. It's shit. It's
so
shit.
I have been paying a lot of attention to that, but I mean, not to be like a wild conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I do feel increasingly like it is a social experiment and it is feeding me this like junk food that it thinks that I really want.
Yes.
And like, I think that I'm a super smart person who would be able to tell misinformation from legit information, but I've also been fooled before.
Yeah, same.
And also, like, I was also like a really
like I literally thought that like the whales in the San Francisco Bay, like the hundreds of, I thought that was real.
I've thought a million things were real. And one time I thought that my period was late because I was just stressed out and it turns out I was pregnant,
Fair.
And I was like, went to my doctor and I was like, I don't know what could be wrong with me. And she was like, I know. That's one of those times where I'm like, I consider myself a pretty smart person, but sometimes when you are on track of thinking one thing, it's shocking to hear another thing, And I don't, oh my God, did you see that thing, that Triumph, the insult comic dog clip where they made like AI clips of like audio of Trump saying atrocious things. And they brought people into like a focus group and they were like, listen, we're working with Donald Trump.
Ah, Jesus
These
Christ.
clips have come to light and they're going to hit the media. And we would like, as supporters of Donald Trump, we would like your opinion on how to handle these things. And it's just him saying all these like wildly, like I think I would have been able to tell that they were made up. And these people were like, I like that he talks that way. But it was like it was a bit. It was a bit. And all these people were like, I'd continue to support him even if he said this. Because like, I like that he says all the things that we're thinking. And it was like just egregiously insane things. And so that's a conversation that we need to have about like entrenchment and not being able to ever be like, well, that's a bridge too far, like because people get entrenched. And I think people get entrenched on both sides where the difficulty arises to me is I think that people who are liberal, I think are less likely to be entrenched and more likely to try to hold leadership accountable when they're not doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, every once in a while, I will see an entrenched person kind of budge in a way. Like, as you said, some Republicans did the right thing in Arizona. So it is possible. But I will say that like that entrenchment, I think, is deeper on the right. And people are less
100%.
More likely to say the sky is red. The ocean is orange.
But that's like, I don't understand. And like, in part, I do think, and this was a part of the conversation we had, like, empathy is huge. Empathy is everything.
Yeah.
And if you're a person who's dedicated your life to storytelling or to being in the arts, what are you dedicating your life to? Telling other people's fucking stories.
Right.
You're not just telling your own. And if you're a person who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think that cultivates a willingness to be able to say, I don't know everything.
Right.
I do have questions. I might be fucking wrong on this. I maybe made this up.
Right.
I thought I knew one thing, and then I got new information, and now I feel embarrassed that I thought that thing, but it's okay. I didn't know, and I now think something new.
Right. Right. Well, I think you said it right there, Busy, is that like storytelling and being creative is about seeing the humanity in people, which I think is why most people who are in show business, most people who are artists, for the most part, artists are liberal, because being liberal equates to seeing the humanity in people. And
people who aren't like you.
People who aren't like you. Anyone. People who are like you, people who aren't like you, people who you never heard of and will never meet. It's about seeing their humanity. And on the right, conservative, generally, it's about removing the humanity from people. For whatever reason, they're doing it. Whether it's
for money?
For money in some cases I think it's cruelty and bigotry. Some cases I think it's
But isn't that just about money and power?
It probably is. It probably is. If you keep
in power.
Yeah, if you keep solving the equation until you get to the final answer, it's probably about money and power. But I think probably some people that uphold it they'll never get near money or power. They're just doing it because they think, this is how I was raised. I'm a traditional person. I'm old school. This is just what I believe. This is what my parents believed. And this is what they taught me. And the reason they were taught that, and the reason why it's traditional where they come from, is because of money and power for someone. But that's what's always wild, right? Is that it's not often money and power for the person that's doing so much work to uphold it and voting to uphold it and really getting in the internet comments to like make sure everybody knows they're not afraid to tell it like it is and to say what everyone's thinking. Like, those people so rarely have money or power. You know, but I think that is why this situation that we're talking about, that we don't have any answers on, is flying in our faces, is because what we are seeing is it's not, we're seeing the humanity, and it's humanly impossible to understand,
to comprehend
what's being done. And so that, I think, is, talk about radicalizing people. Like, people are like, but wait a minute. We would expect this to be the response of those people, but the response of my people is lacking. And so there's a real cognitive dissonance there for a lot of us. And I think that is what you said it. It's the humanity. And like, we can all see the humanity, and it's like gaslighting.
Yes.
Where we're like, we all see this, right? It becomes complicated because like, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it in this, Yeah. Besides your advice to everyone has always been is that direct action, do what you can handle, help in the ways that you can help, even if it's just by hearing someone, amplifying someone. If you could give money, if you can get on a call and speak up or listen to someone explaining these are the things, but I also get it that it feels woefully inadequate while also feeling all-consuming and exhausting. But who knows? The Supreme Court could give the president the right to do whatever he wants, and then democracy could be over. Here's my question about this. I am not a constitutional scholar, and I'm certainly not a Supreme Court justice. But if the Supreme Court in this hearing, this could all be over by the time everyone's hearing this podcast anyway. If the Supreme Court rules right now that the president is not beholden to any laws or is ever responsible for anything that he or she does, but Joe Biden is the president now, then what happens?
I don't know.
I'm saying basically, this is my question about this. Is there a lawyer who can answer this? If the Supreme Court kind of rules what I would think in favor of Trump, that a president can do whatever he wants, but they rule that while Joe Biden is the president, does that mean that Joe Biden can do whatever he wants?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to do anything, clearly.
That's my fear, is that he's like, yeah, but we have to continue doing everything the way that we've been doing it and gradually eroding democracy, and then we'll just have the election business as usual, and then Donald Trump gets elected and then makes 46 conservative Supreme Court justices and imprisons all of us for being registered Democrats. That's my fear.
Yeah, same.
Does that seem about right? That's my that's my take of how it's going.
It's not, guys, it's not going great.
But
and then I just get to this place where I'm like, fuck it. Just laugh. Let's just laugh when we can. Have a good time.
Caissie and I are both cat people now. This is a true story because now she has a cat that lives in her house. But I love my cats, and my cats love Smalls. Guys, here's the deal. If you have more than one cat, which we do, you're going to have to separate them when you give them their Smalls, because they are so obsessed that if I don't separate them, then they like try to eat each other's food. I don't know why they don't understand that it's the same thing in both bowls, but they are cats. So my cats love eating their Smalls. Smalls was started in 2017 by guys who were just cooking cat food at home in small batches for their friends. And then just a few short years later, they've served millions of meals to cats across the U.S. Also, after making the switch to Smalls, 90% of cat owners reported overall health improvements. That's kind of a big deal. And the team at Smalls is so confident that your cat is going to love their product that you can try it risk-free. They will refund your money if your cat won't eat the food, but they will, because our cats are very finicky and love it. Anyway, my cats cannot live without Smalls. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients that you would find in your fridge, delivered right to your door. It's why veterinarians.org rates Smalls 10 out of 10 for ingredient quality. Guys, now is the time to make the switch to Smalls for your cats. Head to smalls.com/best and use promo code BEST at checkout for 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's the best offer you're going to find. But you have to use our code BEST for 50% off your first order. One last time, it's promo code BEST for 50% off your first order plus free shipping at smalls.com/best. Guys, I am very excited to tell you about an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. C15. It's the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And Get this, studies have confirmed that it's 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega-3. Fatty 15 co-founder Dr. Stephanie Venn Watson discovered C15 as the first essential fatty acid to be found in over 90 years while working with the U.S. Navy to help continually improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins, which is kind of incredible. It's very simple. Essential nutrients keep our cells healthy, which keeps us healthy. And if you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us from damaging free radicals, which makes for better long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health. Also, as it turns out, lots of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells that make less energy, quit working earlier than they should, which makes you age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. Guys, Fatty 15 is science-backed. It's award-winning. It is vegan-friendly, and it is a pure C15 supplement. And it has 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 or fish oil. C15 is the only ingredient in Fatty 15. It's 100% pure. C15 works in multiple ways and can help do all kinds of things, including regulate sleep, mood, and the natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. Also, it comes in like a very cute reusable glass bamboo jar, and refill capsules are shipped to your door quarterly in pouches made from recycled materials.
You know, I'm such a sucker for that cute glass and bamboo bottle. I've been taking Fatty 15 every day. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/busy and using code BUSY at checkout. Here's what I will say is that I do think a lot. I do think a lot about people who have lived through wild times, interesting times, right? That's the always the curse. May you live in interesting times. People who have lived through interesting times and worse have always comforted themselves with art and beauty and laughter and music. Because that's all we have in the end. Those are elemental to our humanity and to anyone's humanity. Because we're animals, you know, and that's how all creatures comfort themselves with, I think, their versions of beauty and music and faith in some instances for some people, if that works for you. But it's not easy. And I get it. Sometimes I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what does it all mean? And this is frivolous. But it's really not. I don't think. I think it's a luxury and we're so lucky to have it, but it's a meditation and it's a way of soothing yourself and making it so that you can just continue on, you know? Because that's all we can do is continue.
It's really hard.
I know. Because also too, the fucking older we get, the more we know that like life is short, you know?
Life is so short.
And we get this one wild and precious life, as the poem says. And the thing that's been making me so angry is that life is short. It's a fact. It goes faster and faster. And we should just be making everybody's short life as beautiful and easy as we can. And we don't. As people, we don't. We make people's lives harder. We make
I feel like so many people try to make it easier and better.
Yeah.
And that isn't exhausting.
No, that's the whole reason.
Way easier.
That's the whole.
It's way easier
Yes.
to do that.
You know me. You know that's like, I really do think that everything just like breaks down into the most obvious elements. And for me, like it sounds so silly, but when we're talking about like dating or like friendships with someone or whatever, like that's what I'm always telling my people that I love. I'm like, you should just be looking for someone who makes your life easier and nicer, And like, that's honestly what I think politically. Like, are you making someone's life harder? Someone just living their innocent life? If you're making their life harder, you're not for me. We're not on the same team. I want to make it easier for everyone to pay their bills and to eat food and to spend time with their family and to be healthy and to do the jobs that they want to do and to express themselves the way that they want to express themselves. I want it to be easier for people to read great things. I want it to be easier for people to make wonderful things if that's what they want to do. Like, I really, really believe in that. And so anytime anyone's trying to stop anyone from doing those really simple things, I'm like, I don't think you and I are on the same team. I don't think we're on the same team here. And I don't understand why you would I don't understand why anyone on earth would try to stop anyone from doing anything except for harming another person. That's the only thing I ever want to try to stop anyone from doing, myself.
Right. And there are so many, it feels like currently the people in power are hell-bent on harming other people.
Yeah. In the name of I don't even know what and calling it help. That is the thing that gets me so angry.
Same.
Is like,
Same.
Do
Same.
what you're going to do, I guess, but don't call it help. Let's not.
And don't do it in the name of something that, I mean.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel like so many times I'm like, what do I even do with my life? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's insane. Like, I guess I make jokes and, like that's what I do for a job. Like, I've had so many existential crises where I'm like, what did I do? Like, I should have done something more important with my life. But at the same time, I think it's important to recognize that like what I do for a job isn't necessarily all I do with my life. It's not
100%.
And
but also like there's so much value to making people laugh and to easing. It's all the same. I mean, we're having the same.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure that's how all of you feel too. You probably are like, well, anyone who's a parent is probably like, what did I bring kids into this world? Like, what am I doing? Anyone who is like searching for a relationship or you're trying to like keep a friendship going, you're probably like, what's happening? Like, is this important in the scheme of things? When you're trying to decide like what it is you want to eat for dinner and you're just like checking yourself and being like, this is not an important decision and I'm so like worked up over it. We're all getting a lot of perspective, I think, I hope.
Totally.
And which is like in the scheme of things, I guess it's always good to have perspective, but I wish we were able to gain perspective not at the expense of any of the things that it ever seems to come at. It's a wild time. And it breaks my heart a little bit to see barricades being erected in New York City. After like living through 9/11 here and, and a very scary time in New York City. but one that the city kind of managed and like came back from. And I'm just like, when do we learn? Like when do we learn and then like actually apply those lessons to take better care of each other and hear each other better?
Well, guys, this is another fun one.
This
for
is a
you.
fun podcast.
I'm sorry. It's just like there's just so much.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like it is so hard.
Yeah. I know.
And so difficult to like get through what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard and there is no supposed to. That's the thing.
Right.
If there was a handbook on it, I think maybe we'd feel a little better because at least we would kid ourselves like, oh, I'm doing the right thing. At least I'm supposed to be. That's why sometimes like public messaging is so effective because like people are like, I don't know, we're supposed to like wash our hands and sing happy birthday 2 times. And that's like the formula for doing the right thing in this case. But we don't have any magical formula and we don't have any public messaging about the way we're supposed to manage any of this. And so we're all trying to manage on our own. And like people are scared and they're hurt and they're confused and they're angry. And all of those things are correct. All of those things are correct. And yeah, and we could use some leadership on where we should be heading. But I could not begin to say that I know what the
leadership's not you and it's not me.
No. And I couldn't begin to
shocking because sometimes I would just tell you sometimes on my Instagram and my DMs.
Right.
I think that's what people think. I think they think that it's me that is gonna be able to fucking actually change everything.
I was gonna say I couldn't even say who I would begin to recommend to look toward as like the person who's like, you know who makes me feel better in this situation? Like usually
no shit.
Usually I pick out a person and I'm like, listen, I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know if this is the fucking right person to follow, but this is who I'm listening to and they make me feel better. And like, I just don't have that. I don't even have that useful recommendation this time. So, you know, I'm looking for it. If anyone has someone that they'd like to recommend.
I'll take it.
Woo.
I'll take it.
But you know what we're going to keep doing?
What?
We're going to keep doing direct action.
Yes.
We're not going to stop doing that.
No.
We're gonna keep talking and asking questions, and we're gonna keep allowing for people to ask their questions.
Yep.
And be like a safe space for, you know, for people that like if we know something somebody doesn't know, maybe we'll share it to them. And then we're gonna keep doing what we're good at doing, which is like getting together and supporting each other and supporting our friends who are listening. And we're going to make stuff that's fun so that people can take a little breather.
And like ourselves, like we could take a little breather.
We can take a little breather and we can, you know, because that's what we need. And by the way, we might not always get to do that for whatever reason. Like we just might not, who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? But today we get to do that. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's what we're going to do. Wow. I've cried. I've laughed.
We've raged a little bit.
I do feel a little ragey. I'm always glad to talk to you.
I'm always glad to
And I'll be back
too. You'll be back and then we'll be living together like Laverne and Shirley in my husband's mind.
Oh,
Oh Oh my gosh. You're coming back tomorrow? Sometime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning.
It's exciting. I do have to text you some questions about how laundry works here and where packages are kept, but we don't need to go over it on the podcast.
That's really funny.
Because
I know the answers.
I know you know the answers, and I'm just like, these are things that, listen, I'm never asking you a question until I've tried to solve it myself, and I'm not sure if the way that I would do it is about to make something go terribly wrong. So just know that I'm always trying to answer the question for myself. But, I figured most things out. But those are the two things where I'm like, I better get
Those things are complicated.
I better get some expert advice on that because I don't want to fuck it up and irreparably harm anything.
I can get those answers too.
But guys, thanks for being patient with us while we got this out to you a little late. And also thanks to Josh. Josh,
a king among
men. Josh, who helps put our podcast together every week. He truly is an angel and the nicest person and full of great advice. And he's
awesome.
Yeah. And we just love him so much. And we hardly ever shout him out on the podcast. But I wanted to this week because I was like, never know what time it is anymore. Never know. And he's just like, it's okay. Don't worry.
It's a moment. We're definitely in a moment.
I'm constantly texting Josh at 3 a.m. because I don't know what time it is. And he's like, don't worry. It's nice to have someone in your life that's like, it's okay. Don't worry.
Well, guys, we love you so much.
Everybody
We're going to
busy, safe travels.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate my safe travel.
I can't wait to see the rest of your 8 non-inked looks.
Yeah.
You're like a little baby squid. You inked all over your clothes.
I did. I am a little baby squid. Oh my God, that's so funny. I really am a little baby squid. It's true. It's true. All right, I have to go return my rental car.
All right. Godspeed and good luck. And we love you guys. And we'll talk to you very soon.
We'll talk to you soon.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.